Hey, sweet soul, welcome back to Conscious Lifestyle Coaching. My name is Raileigh Easterling. Today, I want to help you cleanse the spirit of procrastination off of your mind, your body, your soul today. And I'm not going to shame you, I'm not going to pray from the voice of other entities. If you're in prayer time and you've manifested me and you've been a part of this channel, this journey, then likely we have very similar prayers. So I pray quite simply that this message will speak to you and give you the strength and the courage to sit with just some self-awareness and some self-love. And I'm going to share my own stories as well, so you don't feel alone in this journey, that there's no shame here as we talk about the spirit of laziness, as it is something that we all face at some point on our journey. And I've mentioned on this channel oftentimes that I have suffered in the past from severe anxiety and depression, and often it is that cloak of depression that leads into procrastination, where I understand it seems such a deep well that seems impossible to climb out of when you're in it. And I've been in periods of my life when sometimes you just have to sit at the bottom of that well and feel all those feelings and stop trying to achieve things in life and acknowledge things that you have to process emotionally. Sometimes depression comes when our body is physically healing, and that's not a place we want to be. So then we feel depressed and ultimately we feel lazy. But in reality, we are in a deep healing phase. And that's often the first and most important phase of the transformation journey. So, as a life coach, I try to instill in the daily practice just as much meditation and calmness and ease and peace in one's life as much as we are physically activating and accomplishing things as well. So, if you've been battling the spirit of procrastination and you are not depressed, then we have to look at simply the choices that are taking priority over the soul mission. If you've been a part of this channel, then you understand the soul mission is your life purpose at this time. It's your deep sacred calling. You received a vision, you know exactly what it is you should be doing, but you just aren't. So, if you find that you are struggling with procrastination and laziness, okay, so what choices are we making at this time that are harming the body? Are you eating well? I'm not talking about having a perfect diet, but on the conscious journey, it's very clear, and ultimately, we cannot catch up to the soul mission until we purify our gut health, which is very much tied to our mental health. We will not have the energy to serve God, to embody the energy of God on earth, to do godlike things, unless we're eating as if we are royalty, and we are. So, are you eating like that? And I know there's obstacles in this life of eating well and having access to clean water. If that's the stage you are in, that is your priority. Your priority is not to get online, be a public speaker, or necessarily publish a book right now. Your priority is finding the community in which you have the resources to take care of yourself, to lift up your vibration, and to have a healthy body. Because when our body is fed well, our mind is clear, our hormones are balanced, and we can function at the most optimum capacity. So it could be that simple for you at this time, in which you have to change your diet. If you have access to more vegetables and fruits, you have to implement them into your diet. You have to stay away from the processed foods. And a lot of us know this, but sometimes we get off track. Food is an addiction. just a strong addiction as cocaine and other drugs. So I have to speak on this, even though it seems so simple. And yes, you could go anywhere on YouTube or a book and know this. But this is your soul speaking, just to remind you to eat well and to stay hydrated and to prioritize sleep, making sure we are consistent with our sleep because we stop thinking well. We're not able to organize our thoughts, make healthy choices, or to distribute our energy thoroughly throughout the day unless we are sleeping well. If you are addicted to drugs or substances, that is something that has to be cleared. If you are not using any substance, whether that's tobacco, marijuana, in some cultures, alcohol is used in ceremony. If you're not using any of those for ceremonial, medicinal purposes, it may be contributing to the spirit of laziness. When we are addicted to drugs, and many of us have been there at some point, we make any excuse in our mind to normalize the habitual use of it. So we associate ourselves in circles and friend groups, establishments in which we are conformed there. And it seems normal to have a few beers a day, a joint a day. But we actually can produce so much more, create so much more from a clear mind. Substances, drugs, hallucinogenics, marijuana especially, help us tap into the spiritual world, yes. We can tap into the higher self. We receive visions and insights, spiritual downloads, get to reach our spiritual guides on different planes, and then we come back into the body. And we have to stop using those substances for long periods of time so that we can actually activate and live in the visions and the prayers that we received. We can do so much more with a sober mind. And yes, it seems boring. Oftentimes when I haven't been sober, I judge people who don't utilize the medicines that nature gives us. And I see their lives as so straight edge and boring and just so predictable. But that's just on the surface. Again, that's that lie the ego is telling you in order to sustain addictions. Someone who seems very structured, just plain, you don't see their full experience. How can you know that? So when you're tapped into the life purpose, the soul mission, and you are sober, you are having mystical experiences every day. You are experiencing wonder and joy that is full of service. And for me, that comes with the interactions I have with people on a daily basis, where it is so obviously God centered, that spirit connected us, nothing but the spirit. And it is a phenomenal, amazing feeling to be doing work, building income, taking care of my family at the same time, meeting with these amazing human beings, knowing that that's my career. And it is so magical. And this is something we can sustain every day. But when we take the drugs or we get high, take the mushrooms, smoke the joint, it's a fleeting experience. And that's why we have to keep consuming and consuming and consuming. And then our life goes nowhere. And we've wasted years of our life. And unfortunately, that's what happens when we get too comfortable with our habits. So it is very healthy that you've been watching so far and you've been watching channels like mine where I'm challenging thoughts and patterns and behaviors every single day. People might consider what I say to be radical sometimes. Or maybe they're annoying. But I believe in accountability. So, being honest with the addictions that are holding you back. Is it time to let them go so that you can serve more? Knowing that the life of service is not boring at all. You can travel so much more because you're sober. You can meet more people. You have so many more hours in your day to use because you're not lost in a daydream or just feeling low in energy. So, the spirit of laziness, procrastination, sometimes it just wounds that we hold on to. You could be sober, you could be eating well, and if still this spirit is lingering in your atmosphere, it may be time, not for coaching, but time to go back and look at the past traumas that you are still carrying in your body and your mind and how they're affecting your self esteem, your self worth. And it's going to take some time to reprogram your nervous system in your mind to think more positively. And remaining in a consistent state of awareness of higher consciousness does help. Journaling does help. Art does help. Getting online and speaking and listening to your voice, listening to your own story, reading your journal entries from years and years and years ago, it helps you observe what's happening in your soul and what your soul is still holding on to that needs to be released. And we do that in accountability of others. So having to speak to someone, whether you are a speaker on an open mic sharing your poetry, or you're talking to a therapist, hiring a coach, whatever it is that you need, it helps to speak out loud. That way you can, again, hear your soul's voice, hear what's going on in there. And that's how we can alchemize it. And that's how we free ourselves. And yes, ultimately, that is prayer. That is the fruit of prayer. Knowing that the voice is that powerful, that in real time, in an instant, as we pray out loud, everything shifts. It must shift, it must happen. And ultimately, it is our offering our gratitude to God, to the angels, the ancestors to help us heal. So, your spiritual team, God, your angels, your ancestors of the highest love are with you right now, and they're right next to you, comforting you through this. And yes, it's going to have to be your choice when you're ready to go ahead and activate yourself and embody this higher version of you that you see in your mind's eye. It's real. And sometimes you have to just push through the exhaustion anyway. Don't let the mind or the body convince you. Put yourself in the presence of that higher timeline, that new reality, and then watch that your body will catch up. Oftentimes, our spirit is living in a higher future dimension, and it just takes time for our body to catch up. And it will. But ultimately, it is your choice. The conscious awareness behind the thought that your soul gets to choose what happens here moving forward. So be patient with the body, but have strong will. Have good people around you. Monitor your habits daily. Come back home to what you know is healthy for you. And don't hold on to the shame. Just know you're human. We're human. And we mess up sometimes. Yes, we all go through periods of laziness, depression, anxiety, but we can always get back up. So I hope this message helps empower you to make those choices today and to hold yourself in grace and compassion along the way. So if you are in need of service, consciouslifestylecoaching.com. This Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. is the Ascension Seminar. It's a 3-hour live group discussion. We're going to meditate for 3 hours as well. So come on into that space. It's only $25. And that way you're in that community, that conscious community that will hold you accountable, and we will all receive some clear messages and downloads of what needs to happen next in our lives. And we'll get to hold each other accountable moving forward. And of course, the 30-day coaching portal, it's only the 30-day portal of 2025, opens August 11th and it will finish September 10th. It's only for 5 people, so if you're ready, come on in. Send me an email if you have any questions, but we're going to get started on Monday, and that's going to be the portal. So if you're feeling the call to get support at this time, if you know this is you, it's time to enroll. And that's called Inviting Your Dreams into Reality. We're going to meet every week for 1 hour, and I'm going to follow up with you each week with spiritual guidance, conscious business advice, affirmations, journal questions, and specially made self-development worksheets that are going to help you on your mission at this time. So peace and love to you. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, please like, comment, share these videos. And I hope to see you continue on this journey with me. And I'm very grateful that you are here. So I'll see you again soon. Peace and love.